I'm Dr. Kemi Olunloyo for Kemi Talks Safety. It's April 3rd, 2025. Let's talk about safety tips for Nigerians in the South. If you see any suspicious activities in your community, this is not a racist or tribalist campaign. This is the fact. I'm a retired journalist of 31 years, a health educator and pharmacist of 37 years. And when you look at those two professions alone, my third profession is PR, 29 years. This is a PR campaign, Kemi Talk Safety. If you look at two of my professions, the first two I mentioned, it does have to do with health and wellness and safety of people. They're on the same area. And what I want to say right now, if you see any suspicious activity in your neighborhood, even if you're in northern Nigeria, there's suspicious activities everywhere in the world. Make sure you're aware. Make sure you have community safety plans. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about happened in front of my eyes in Lagos some 6-7 years ago when Ambody was governor. If you see a truckload full of Aboki boys, okay, the young Hausa boys, a truckload of them with lots of motorcycles on board, they call it bike, they call it machine. Once you see those kind of trucks, there might be a few cows in the truck, maybe 3 or 4. That's just to disguise that they're herdsmen and they're this and they're that. Make sure you contact the authorities. When that truckload full of Aboki boys showed up in Festac in 2019, you guys remember that Ambody quarantined them. And quarantine means all the Aboki boys were locked up somewhere for 10 days until they were found out. As in, who are you? Background check. The motorcycles were impounded temporarily and the cows were tied up somewhere, okay? The reason why this has to be done is because we have a huge amount of insurgency in northern Nigeria that we have seen proof of all these things. For example, when Emir of Kano, the late Emir of Kano, Adobayor, was coming from a school event, his convoy was attacked by terrorists. They were on bikes. They just rode those bikes, vroom, vroom, and opened fire on the convoy. The king didn't die, but a lot of his guards died. You know those people that sit near the king on the ground? 3 of them died. I can't forget that. Was that not 2014 or 2015? You might be younger. You can look it up. Because of that incident, Okadas were banned in Kano. I don't know if it's still banned. Zamfara, we saw what happened in Zamfara when the bandits arrived. They come in motorbikes, vroom, vroom, and they go out there and shoot people all over the villages. So, there are good people in Nigeria. We are good people. But when you have certain part of the communities where they're using one thing someone is using for good and they're using it for bad, then it becomes a problem. Many of these Aboki boys cannot do Okada business in the north, so they move to the south. And then you see all the Abokis doing Okada in the south. We've had 1 or 2 that have done heinous crimes like what they did with that young man in Lekki and killed him, vigilante style. I'm not going to forget that. I'm bringing all these cases up. So if you want to come to our land and work, you must abide by our rules. Is that okay, everybody? When you go to northern Nigeria, you must abide by their rules. If Deborah Samuel did not abide by their rules of Prophet Muhammad and blasphemy, then you need to do the same in our land. Because you said that she blasphemed Prophet Muhammad and you decided that you wanted to just, unalive her by doing the same thing that happened to the Uromi guys. And I'll keep saying it. Those of you that know my work in investigative journalism and my sources, I have sources in Edo Police Command. These guys were terrorists. They were coming to do Alhamdulillah, okay? Half of my family is Muslim. Don't even start with that Islam stuff, because you'll be tired. Okay, that's all they wanted to do. They wanted to do the Alhamdulillah after killing people in Rumi and then go home to go eat and celebrate Salah. But guess what? It didn't work. Okay, the bushmeat caught the hunter. And Rumi people did what they had to do. I'm not praising any vigilante justice, okay? Because you guys were praising the one with Deborah. I'm not even entertaining bullshit. Okay, if you know Kemi Olunloyo, this woman here, she tells the truth and she'll say it right in front of you. No cutting or any chasing or anything. All right? No one's going to cut my wings. I'm going to talk. Like my son called me international vigilante. They've disabled the vigilantes in Edo State. As soon as they disabled them, took their guns away, Deola Ajayi, DSS, told Nigerians, you have to protect yourself. We can't always be there. Police, army, DSS can't always be there. And then you take their guns away from them. But your hunters and your herders are roaming around freely with AK-47s. What are we talking about here? Nuhu Ribadu, you need to fucking step down because you're not doing anything for the Nigerian people. You're not an NSA chief. Okay? You're a failure. I have lots of Hausa friends talking to me in secret because they don't want to come out and, get into trouble because they want to be politically correct and all that. And I said, look at what's going on here. One of my friends in the north said, Dr. Kerry, you're crazy. You are pounding our governor mercilessly. I'm not even pounding your governor. Abba Yusuf is not doing the right thing. All right? Because he sees a puppet governor. Okpebolo is a puppet. Okay, Monday, you are going up there to visit Abba Yusuf, to condole for people that lost their lives in your state, people that are going to kill more people in your state, kidnap more people. Was there a condolence visit paid to the family of the Urumi victims? No. But you're going out of state. Let's wake up in this Nigeria. You cannot mix politics with foolishness. These people voted you in. I will keep talking. Make sure any Abokis come in. You can relocate anywhere you want in Nigeria. We own Nigeria. Everybody owns every corner of Nigeria. If I want to move to Borno State tomorrow and open a lingerie shop, I'm waiting for some Abokis to come and burn my shop because I'm selling lingerie. We have the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of press in the Nigerian Constitution, but it's never enforced. But if you see suspicious activities, truck full of Abokis, you must do something. Finally, I'm going to tell you this. While I was in Port Harcourt prison, I was a pet in the prison. You know what they call prison pet? The ones that the warders like, they give them privileges and all that. There was no pet in the women's section. I was the only pet. Meaning that I get to leave the women's section, and go out into the rest of the prison. Port Harcourt prison is a city on its own. There's a hospital, the bank, different places. So to get away from that women's thing, we're so confined in there. We come out of our cells, we sit down in the yard. That's all you have. If you're not in your yard, you're in the kitchen or in the church. So when you come out, you're either going to the clinic or the bank. They line us up, they follow us. I get to go out with the warders to their office just to chill. So I'll sit down in the office. Yeah, the prison office. That desk right there. One Oga warder is there, checking in the new inmates. On the floor here, all the inmates are seated. Okay, they're stripped down to their underwear. All right, so they only have their pants on and their boxers. And then you see all of them, and that guy is calling them one by one to process them into the prison. And then they get their green uniforms. Okay, I haven't written the prison book. I'm probably never going to write it. I'm going to be telling you in video. So at the end of the day, one by one, they go there. What I do is I just sit down, I'm chilling, I'm watching everything they're doing, and there's a window up there that the warders can buy food. Okay, a lot of the vendors are allowed to come in the prison for a certain amount of time, but they're outside, and I'm like, Madam Kemi, what do you want? One of the warders will say, get me rice and stew, stuff you don't see every day. I want puff puff and 2 mangoes, like balumo. So I really chill, and then I go back to the cell. I was very high profile in the prison. And at the end of the day, I showed up at the office one day, and guess what? It was a load of Aboki boys. I'm like, hey, good morning, una good morning, Aboki. No be Aboki be you. Waiting carry you come here. Talk now. Like I always harassed people in prison. That's why I was a general, a female inmate general. I'm like, what think you come? All of them will be looking at you like dumb because they see you in the prison outfit. They don't know whether to talk or not. And everybody else is in the prison, uniform for the guards, the warders. I'm like, open your mouth. When I talk now. So the warder was now say, open your mouth. She did talk. She did ask you question, talk. Headsmen carry us come here. We be headsmen. We no be headsmen. We dey carry cow for politician. We make us headsmen and go kill people. So you're carrying cows for politician who wants you to mask as herdsmen to kill people. You're militias, full animal militia. Una go stay here long. I saw